Thank you, Chairman Connolly, for holding this very important hearing today on anti-Semitism. It's unfortunate we've been forced to have go the same inquiry for the last 2 years, which includes private and government sector unions, higher education, teachers, and college accreditation, and now K-12. And the question we have to ask ourselves, why are we talking about kindergarten in this regard? Well, it's because if the goal of evil is perpetuate and spread hate, there's no better place to start than with our young, our most innocent and most pliable. Anti-Semitism is a terrible cancer that not only threatens the well-being of Jewish students, but also the emotional and spiritual health of every other student affected by it. Children are not born to judge each other based on race, creed, color, or culture. This happens only when hatred is taught to children by angry, hate-filled, godless adults. I watched this in my youth and Jim Crow South, our nation growing, working to become a more perfect union. And yet here we are in 2025, once again, seeing the divisiveness being taught throughout our entire educational pipeline. I'm here to report this will end on our watch. This committee is taking a stance against ideologues who work to infect our children with the evil cancer of hate. There's no place in our classrooms, and those who teach it will soon find themselves no longer compensated by our American taxpayer. Ms. Neely, your organization, Defending Education, released a report on teachers' colleges last year that described colleges of education as pipelines of turning teachers into activists. Can you kind of give us a little more examples of what that looks like?
Sure. Teachers today in teachers' colleges are not learning how to be better educators, how to teach phonics. Instead, they are learning to view the world through an oppressor-oppressed matrix. So as I said in my opening statement, groups like Jews or Asians or even males are considered oppressors. And so we are put into these big groups. There is no respect for the dignity of an individual, of somebody's circumstances that brought them to where they are. And so things like that, when teachers then are going into the classroom, having learned those things, they spread those ideas on. And so these are teachers' colleges that are at state schools, they're at private schools, and the fact that our teacher licensing pipeline mandates that you must have a teaching degree from these schools, a master's degree, a PhD, means that you have to marinate in these ideas, steeped in critical race theory, queer theory, anti-whiteness, privilege, things like that, that of course you are gonna come out at the other end if you have been in that program for 4, 6, 8 years, a complete and utter believer, and I think that's deeply dangerous.
You're describing DEI, I imagine, the framework, okay. Ms. Learman, you mentioned in your written testimony of Brandeis Center brought a lawsuit against a school district in Santa Ana, California for creating ethnic studies which included anti-Semitic content. Can you share some of the information that was revealed in the course of this lawsuit? Divorce.
This was a procedural lawsuit, but in the process of getting discovery, we found members of the committee that approved these curricula saying, well, how do we handle the Jewish problem? We saw them agreeing that it would be a good idea to hold sessions on Passover so that the Jewish members wouldn't attend. We saw one of the Jewish teachers who was on the committee called an effing baby and a colonialized mind. He was one of the ones that they did not want appearing on the Passover meeting.
Quick question, was there any reprimand, any consequences to these folks when at the end of the day, anything happened to these people?
Yes, we reached a settlement with them that they had to stop teaching these curricula that were full of anti-Israel and anti-Semitic content. They agreed to work with Jewish organizations to create alternative content. They agreed that they would follow what we have in California. It's called controversial issues. They have to teach both sides of something, not just one side of something. Okay. They have to let students disagree.
Okay, well, thank you.
And so on.
Real quick, Dr. Stefanski, in your opening statement, you discussed foreign funding for K-12 programs. Can you give an example of some foreign funding supporting anti-Semitic course material or teachers?
Yes, so part of that is coming from Qatari Foundation International, where they're funding Arabic language and culture classes in multiple school districts in multiple states. Some of that course material then is a complete revision of history, obviously demonizing the state of Israel and also misdefining Jews as an ethno-religious group.
Okay, thank you. And I just want to say thank you for this committee for being so forward-thinking and make sure this ends. We have to make sure that hatred stops from teaching our kids this way. So with that, I yield back. Thank you.